Hey, it's Ed from Signal Strength Audio. Today's video is going to be a little mixture of things, a little bit of a gig video and also a little bit about this guy right here. So stick around. A couple questions came up recently asking about why I chose this particular speaker for my main front of house rig. And there's two reasons. It performs really well and doesn't cost a lot. So what you have here is the Presonus CDL12p. It is a constant curvature array speaker, and basically what it is kind of doing here, it's mixing a line array and a point source all in one kind of thing. Pretty nifty technology. So what it is a 12-inch woofer driver behind 8 2-inch high-end drivers, which form a short little array here. And then when you add speakers on, it adds more array, more power, and more coupling to the high and mid frequencies. It is 1,000 watts. It Class D amplification, which is super efficient. Splits up the power evenly between the mids and the highs, 500 watts each. And with some of the newer speakers, to gauge them by their wattage is more, I don't know, it's not like it used to be. Things are kind of gauged more like their coverage, which this has a huge advantage over point source speakers because it's 120 degrees horizontal coverage and 15 degrees vertical coverage. This speaker will help push the energy out forward, where a regular point source box, like say a QSC K12 or some of the new EV stuff, they're usually 90 degrees vertical. No, I'm sorry, 60 degrees vertical and 90 degrees horizontal. So they're kind of pushing energy up into the floor and the ceiling where you really don't need it. And one of the advantages in this box is having the 15 degrees is you can get the energy forward. You're not pushing a bunch of sound at the floor and at the ceiling. And so when you add another box, it does a couple of things. Of course, you get more vertical coverage. You get 30 degrees. And it helps with the power and the throw. So what'll happen is the way these couple together, the sound always comes from the center of the element. So if you add another element, its sound's going to come directly from the middle of both of those. It gives you a lot more control where you're throwing the sound. Another reason I chose this speaker is because of the scalability. So if I need to have 2 PA systems, it's just a matter of having 2 of these. This works fine on its own as a single element, whereas a traditional line array speaker kind of needs those other speakers to make them powerful and have the coverage that you'd want to get from them. So a single element of a line array speaker is not going to be as efficient and as powerful as a single constant curvature array or even a point source. But yeah, with the scalability, I do have 4 of these. So basically I could have 2 PA systems set up different locations or whatever, and it would certainly benefit me. Now, as far as the cost per performance, this speaker is just awesome. I'll put some info here about what it costs compared to the other ones in its class. But the way this thing performs for what it costs is just incredible. It does have that Class D amplification, like I was saying, and it's super efficient. You can run 4 of these boxes on a 20 amp circuit if you wanted to, and it would be fine. They work great. This is a poly cabinet. It's not a wood cabinet. There is a speaker line where this came from. It's called the CDL12, and it's a birch plywood cabinet and it has a Dante network. It is roughly twice the money. A couple of things that I don't like about this speaker. It's only 64 pounds, but it's kind of an awkward 64 pounds. So when you're holding it, it's kind of a little bit shaky, a little bit dicey, but it's not horrible. Stacking 2 or 3 of these on wherever you need them to go isn't that bad to do at all. One of the other things I don't really care for is the rigging. So it's just these pins. They come out, and then this slides up into the top speaker, and then the pin goes back in. So the problem is when you're doing 2, it's not that bad, because if you look here, this is pretty level. So that speaker will stay here. You can kind of get it lined up. But when you're doing 3, that top speaker is on an angle, so it's a little bit complicated to get the rigging in. And sometimes these pins are a little bit finicky. It hasn't been horrible, but it's something I don't really like. Another thing that I'm not really caring for is, if you look here, this amp module, it's sideways, which is silly. I mean, whatever, but one of the things that drives me crazy when you're trying to read that display here, which is, it's easy to read in the daylight, so it works pretty good. But obviously it's sideways, whatever. But it does have the PowerCon connectors, which is very nice. So you get the in and then the out to the next speaker. The same with the line level coming in, going out to the next speaker. The DSP does have a couple of different settings, one of them being you can choose which type of sub that it's paired with, which only helps if you have the subs that are built into the presets. But setting the amount of boxes that you have, so if you have 3 in an array, you can put 3, and all the DSP works and jives really nicely. So yeah, here's the CDL12p. Super happy with it. You'd be hard pressed to find a performance from a different speaker that costs this much, or this little, I should say. So with that said, this weekend had quite an amazing gig over at Oddfellows Concert Lounge again. I'm going to keep promoting those guys because they are so cool and what they're doing. I got some video of the show and some audio. I'll have that up here in a second, but yeah, check it out. If you have a business and you're wanting to have a banner or any type of advertising, they have some sponsor packets, which is pretty cool. Different levels of sponsorship, and if you're looking for that tax write-off early in the year, it'd be a good one. They do nonprofit stuff, so Be Well My Friends is their main charity, and when they have these concerts, they do a cover charge, so it's $10 to get in, which isn't horrible considering concert tickets are what, $150 maybe? I don't even know. So that money goes to the bands. So when you pay your cover charge, you're paying to see the band, you're supporting them directly. Then they have their bar sales, which go to the charities, and they have these volunteers that are just amazing. One of these days, I hope to have them guys in here and do a small interview, what they're doing. It's really, really cool. But anyway, having said that, here's some video of the show, and if you have any questions and if you have any answers, put them in the comments. Be happy to talk about the speakers. If you have any questions about those or any other gear that you might see on these videos, and keep on rocking.
I am stubborn and I do things on my own. It's part of who I am. It's what I was shown. I put these little notes all around the house. This one is your toothbrush. Here is your nightgown. Won't you sit with me tonight? Watch the sun go down.